What if Mario had a gun?
Something Miyamoto said at one point.
Oh, did he really?
Originally
A rushed game is forever bad, but a delayed game has a gun.
Originally, in the regular NES Super Mario, like the original game, Miyamoto's all like, and then he can hit the block and find a gun. And then they thought about it. They're like, maybe a fire flower. Might be more family friendly. Although I think it would have been hilarious if just literally the same game as Super Mario Brothers.
God, this is real. Holy shit.
Are you looking up, what? Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. He was supposed to have a rifle with, like, that shot rockets. And then technically, Yoshi's Safari is a game where Mario has a gun. And he's shooting Goombas and Koopa Troopas and the like. Except the gun is a super scope, but still.
Those controls would have been awful. He said during much of development, the controls were A, to shoot bullets from your gun, B, to dash, and up to jump on the control pad.
Oh no, yeah, that's a... Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God they didn't go with that. So, how's everybody doing?
We're doing good, and by we I mean myself. I'm not going to speak for anybody.
I'm wearing a hood right now because I'm getting into the groove.
My cat has a urinary tract infection. So
I'm getting into character.
Wait, your cat has a urinary tract infection?
Yes, and my dog, I think, has
kidney problems. Yeah, I was like, holy shit. What?
So every morning I have to wake up and I have to give a pill to each of them.
Stop putting toxic catheters in your pets.
I'm sorry, thing they put in the water. Also, all my frogs are gay now.
Something they put in the water. Oh my god. My voice is a little fucky right now because I do this really cool thing whenever I'm sick where I get better and then I lose my voice.
Oof.
I don't know why, it just fucking happens. And what didn't help was I was having a few heated matches of Paladins last night where it's a double XP weekend, which I think means that, like, everyone who doesn't know how to play the game comes out and goes, like, time to ruin every match, and you're like, okay.
I didn't realize we were live. We're actually talking about stuff.
Yes,
hey.
I said it! I gave fair warning.
I thought you were just being friendly, Colin.
What a fucking goofball. God damn it.
I thought you just wanted to tell me about everything that was happening in your life. I'm like, that's nice. That's nice. I like that you like to share.
Nantegjex should be here in a few moments.
He is. I was sharing some links of stuff with him on Discord last night, and he's all like, I will look at this when I'm sober. I'm like, you will look at this when you're hungover, and you will not enjoy it.
That's going to be the best part. That's going to be the... We should,
It's not mourning for him, by the way. It is not good morning Source Gaming.
Hang on. Why don't you have a PayPal or donation link? We have a Patreon, but we also have a Super Chat.
Yeah,
so if you like to donate money, specifically if you want to ask us a question and donate money, please use Super Chat. Thank you.
Or
I love you.
Yeah, say exactly who you want that money to go to. We've never said that before, but if you say I want all the money to go to Spazzy, we'll make it happen.
That is true. We do have individual PayPal links. Just dig through some of the past streams and. But seriously, just use the Super Chat. It's easier and it's cuter and it makes us all feel tingly inside as we're talking. Is this a stream where we talk about the new EDF? I haven't picked it up yet. I actually haven't picked up the last 2 EDF games because I didn't pick up 5 either. That just kind of came out and I forgot about it.
Well, were you talking about the Environmental Defense Fund that's helping stabilize climate change?
Yeah.
The EDF?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, as long as we're on the same page.
I like how the EDF is it's such a generic term that, like, a lot of video games use it. Like, the first instance I've ever heard of EDF being used in a video game is Duke Nukem Forever. Because that's what all the soldiers are wearing. They're wearing EDF shirts.
There's a game in 2011 called Earth Defense Force Insect Armageddon.
Yep, that's the actual EDF,
one?
Earth Defense Force. That's like the one that everyone knows and likes. Those series, that one's not so great, but that series is fantastic. It's a if you don't know about EDF, it's basically a series of hello Siri, why did you? Oh, I said a series, and my phone thought I said hey Siri.
Hey Siri.
Jesus Christ. But, no, it's a... Did you say Abe Lincoln?
Despacito.
It's a funny reference. But no...
Alexa, stop! No!
Just unplug it. But no, EDF is a series of games made for, like, the PS2. They were part of the Simple series, which means they had a budget of, like, $5. And they all look and run terribly. But it's a game where you run around, presumably with a friend, and you shoot the hell out of giant ants. And it's incredibly fun. And now there's like 5 of them with 2 or 3 spin-offs. It's great. It's great.
The EDF are in some Godzilla movies, apparently. Actually, I think I knew that.
Yeah. There's also a Super Nintendo game called EDF. Which is like
just reading our chat.
It's a shmup. Yeah.
Or a shmup.
People are like, oh, so direct. That was fun. That was a fun week.
That blew my mind. It was so great.
Yeah.
We got the tease for Mother 4, which nobody saw coming. We got 3 separate F-Zero adventures. Sorry, I should say adventures set in the F-Zero universe. It was just everything we could have ever wanted.
Matt, what was your favorite part of this week's Direct?
I can't believe they're actually remaking Ocarina of Time. Wow.
in 2D.
Using the same engine as...
It's a demake. They're going to do it in the Super Effects chip style.
Ooh.
It's going to be like how it was originally supposed to be made.
It's going to be side-scrolling Super Effects.
Dude, Man Guy was really happy for F-Zero Adventure Dinosaur Planet. I agree. I thought that was good. I thought it was a little weird that was actually kind of a life sim, but, you know,
yeah,
to expand the IP.
Okay, so to catch everybody up, there's this fucking character from some Japanese RPG, and he's supposed to be added to Smash Brothers or something like that. And they announced him a while back, and they said he was going to be out in April. It's now April, and someone wrote espresso wrong in chat.
Now we're gonna judge you harshly for that.
Yeah, no, he's supposed to be out in April. They said late April. I actually watched that section of the Direct again to make sure. No, they said late April. They said out by late April. And it's now getting close to mid-April. We're 13 days in.
They removed April from the advertisements, which makes me think it's probably just going to be delayed.
Oh no. that one's rough.
Some people were getting really excited, thinking, "Wow, it's coming sooner!" But it's like it's April. Why would they remove it?
Like,
if it's April.
Here's a little piece of advice for Nintendo Direct leaks. One, don't
Don't believe them.
Don't believe. Yeah, but two, when something is real, what you'll notice is that a bunch of other sources will start saying, "Oh yeah, I've heard of that," or "I've heard of this." "Oh yeah, no, of course." Because the thing is, people know things. I'm just going to say this because I've known things, and I'm not like an industry person. I'm not somebody that gets a bunch of information, but I hear things sometimes, even like with my limited like base.
Yeah.
And so if something legit is coming, you'll see one person, like people. A lot of times, people just wait until somebody says something, and then once one person says something, a bunch of other people will corroborate and be like, "Yeah, it's coming," or they'll hint or this or that. If it's just one guy, then everybody who normally would say, "Yeah, it's coming," says, "No, it's not coming." It's pretty, like honestly, like you can tell when something might have something to it. Hey, Nantenjex, you're on mute.
Guys,
Oh.
Golden
Hey,
Week
paisanos.
it starts on April
It's
20th.
me. I feel like death, but I have my coffee. It's not warm, unfortunately.
What was the occasion?
It's a friend's
Friday.
birthday.
Okay.
We went out to a comedy club, and I planned on going just after that, and apparently I didn't.
I really wish you replied with Friday.
This time there was actually an occasion to screw all of my Saturday plans up.
Friday.
To get some Gatorade and a banana because you need potassium and electrolytes.
Do that thing that Doc Brown drinks in Back to the Future 3 that's like Tabasco and like horse water and stuff like that. Whatever
don't
that
have
concoction
Gatorade over
was.
here.
Yeah.
I have had a banana, and I'm about to have a pancake. But, sorry, a French crepe, as it says on the packaging.
Crep.
We'll see if that wakes me up. It's been
Oh,
I've only been out
does
of bed for an hour. So it's my good morning as well now.
Does that upset your French girlfriend or fiance? Are you guys engaged? I don't remember.
No, I'm not, no.
Okay. Yeah, because I was about to say, if you were with somebody that was French and you're making like instant crepes, I feel like that would be insulting.
It probably would, yes. But I need anything that
I'll keep you going.
bring me alive right now. So what were we talking about?
We were talking about the direct that didn't happen.
Oh yeah, it was my favorite direct.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked how they showed off totally like every game we wanted.
They delayed it because Isaac has an earthquake move, and they had to replace him with Isabel at the last minute, apparently. Again.
No, they just found out about the leak, and so were like, "Oh shit, we can't let this ruin the surprise. We'll just delay it by 3 weeks."
Oh, they just knew about all the Disney Plus stuff that was happening, and they're like, we want to get some separation from that. Obviously,
I just want to I want to toot my own horn here by saying I love this week's thumbnail. I did a bang up job with that. I really appreciate that joke.
Oh man.
Oh.
One day we'll have that game explained level. This is a really great thumbnail, but man, like they've been killing it recently.
Yeah, they got that guy who puts Captain Falcon and everything.
And everything, yeah.
He's a good thumbnail artist.
Would you totally buy the Source Gaming coffee mug? Because I kind of want to start making them so I can buy one.
Yeah.
So if you want,
I don't drink
we'll make
hot
that
coffee,
happen.
but yeah, I do it. I'm
I mean,
an
you drink
iced
hot
boy.
things, right? You don't drink any like
I'm an
teas
iced.
or
I'm an
hot chocolates.
I'm an iced boy forever.
Oh man.
No,
I
gotta have
drink
hot
tea
coffee.
sometimes though.
Iced tea is fine, but I gotta have coffee.
I like
hot
my
coffee.
cold brew coffee. That's just me.
I cold brew my coffee and then I heat it up afterwards.
I mean, you can do that. That's like half of the point is that you can reheat it. But I prefer it a little cold. Mix it in with some milk. You know what I'm saying?
My coffee's mild right now, so it's the worst of both worlds.
We're all talking about how we enjoy our coffee here.
I think
So
my
that's good.
no, my favorite thing about the every time there's like a quote unquote like supposed direct date is it's always, as you said, it's like one guy who's the one that comes forward and goes like, "Yep, it's this day," and then it's funny. Not everyone goes like, "Oh yeah, it's totally this day." That's what I heard too. It's always like maybe, which is like such a cop out. Because that's just like a coin flip at that point. Because then no one can hold you responsible. That's what I hate about most leaks. They're always stupidly vague.
About this guy.
Yeah.
This guy put his neck on the line. He's like, "No, it's going to be this date." I'm like, "Okay, I like that. I like that because especially dealing with the Smash speculation scene so much. I remember like before Smash 4 came out, it's so awful because you have these leaks that people are keeping tabs of all of these, possible leaks.
Yeah.
And if they don't have like a date associated with them, well, this one's still alive. I'm like, but is it, man? They've said 2 months ago that K. Rool and Gangplank Galleon would come out, and we're keeping it alive because they said Ashley was an assist trophy, and she is. And this is, by the way, this is not, somebody said this is going to be a giant I told you so stream. I don't think we actually want to talk about the fake direct that long, so I don't.
No, this is not. This is not okay. I'll say this much: this is not meant to be an "I told you so" stream. It's really just more of
happened this week.
Someone's car alarm is going off in the background. No, but it's really more just going over. I don't know. Like, direct speculation is weird because there's almost never any foundation behind it outside of, well, they gotta announce this thing at this point. But there's there's not really ever a set date. And also, like, Nintendo's the only one who does this. So it's like you can't even make predictions based on what other companies do. Like, I always see people go, like, oh man, they need to do a Smash Direct detailing all of Joker's moves. It's gonna take like 15 minutes. And I'm just like, remember when Negan was announced for for Tekken? And then they just, like, released him a year later?
I still think good chance that we're going to get a mini Smash Direct. But it's not so much for Joker as much as for the fact that they teased a 3.0 update without telling us what it is, which makes me think within that context of the Direct that they're like, oh, watch out, we'll tell you later. It would be really stupid for them not to tell us then. If they weren't going to tell us later.
Yeah, no, that's what I think as well. Like, they could easily just shadow drop Joker.
Yeah.
With Piranha Plant. I mean, they gave us a week in advance warning saying 2.0 is going to be coming. But they never said that Piranha Plant was going to be a part of that update. It just happened to be.
Yeah.
So they could everyone's assuming Joker will be with 3.0. So they could very easily just turn around on Twitter and be like, 3.0 comes out next week, and then that's it, and then don't give us any information, and boom. But I think it's going to... Yeah, I agree. I'm going to leave the I told you so, Good Morning Source Gaming, until the 4th of May.
Yeah.
When this direct turns out to be the 30th of April. It's giving me shit, telling me that the 30th of April is the end of April, and they said it'd be before the end of April. Possibly be that day.
They do that all the time. That's like the other thing about Nintendo. They do shit like that all the time. It's there's not really any... It just comes down to they show what they need to when they need to, and that's like, and this isn't even like a Nintendo Defense Force thing. That's just how it is with any company. They take their time to announce crap.
Yeah. They'll do it when they're ready to do it, not when by some arbitrary date.
Yeah,
and like that's why I feel like we'll get a Nintendo Direct before E3 because so many people were telling me, oh no, they can't do one in May because E3's around the corner, and it's like. Dude, they've done 8 directs in May before.
A Smash Direct,
like the last. They've done like more. They've done like more than one direct every year, essentially.
Yeah.
The only
like,
themed, but
the only pattern you can follow with directs is, the early one, the spring one, the E3 one, and the fall one. Those are like the 4.
Summer one.
What?
There's sometimes one in August. I think a summer one.
I would say August, September, maybe. I just say fall because it's usually in September anyway.
Because if I remember, it used to be like before Iwata passed away. It was like every 3 months we got one.
Yeah.
They slowed down a lot. Like a year went by where I think there was like 2 directs.
A Smash Direct presentation is going to happen. They have to present Joker's moveset and stage builder, persona music, and possibly new Spirits and Me costumes. All of that can take like 5 to 10 minutes to present. I don't think.
No.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a regular Direct and then halfway through, like the focus will be the Smash, like how it was Fire Emblem in the last Direct.
Oh my
They can do a
God.
regular Direct, and then
Guys.
they'll cut halfway through and be
Guys.
like, "Here's Joker. Here's everything you could expect in 3.0, and it will be out next week or today or something like that."
Guys, this tweet that we put out is awful for, I just want to say, for, like, that we're live now with this. We didn't say who's on here. We didn't say anything. Come on, we can do better than this.
That's fine.
It's a-
That's
it's a
fine.
mystery.
It doesn't
What if,
matter.
worry, don't
what if
worry.
Nintendix has many
People in.
fans?
The YouTube description says AShadowLink, KawlunDram, and TBA discuss that Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, because we had Source Gaming do everything last minute.
Yeah.
TBA is actually Nintendix and I's tag team. I don't know if you knew that. That was
I'm seeing some things in chat here. I don't want to crush anyone's hopes and dreams, but I just got to point something out. What do you think of Doug Bowser for the next Direct? He's not going to be in it. Maybe he will, but I doubt it because it's just going to be Koizumi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like he is in every one. Maybe
Bowser
Doug Bowser
being
will
the
show up and
E3
be
one.
like, "Hello, I'm here to present Nintendo 2 or something." I don't know. Let's see what else we got here.
That will be an E3 one. That's going to be that might be what their gimmick is for this E3 presentation. Have it
Calling
be
it
presented by Bowser.
calling it this Monday will be a direct with Reggie. There's no directs on Mondays. Why would it be on Monday?
Here's the thing about Reggie. He's a person that already went above and beyond what a corporate would do, and that's make a video saying goodbye. Like he left the job. He made a video. He already made a video on Twitter saying goodbye. Why would he come and say goodbye again?
I'm seeing some people say they might do a specific direct just for Super Mario Maker 2. And then someone also
when they announced it.
Someone also asked what will be the focus of E3 this year. Guys, expect 5 minutes of Mario Maker 2 at the E3 Direct, and then Mario Maker 2 comes out later in the month. I'm calling it now. Like, they do that shit all the time.
I kind of too. Actually, I think that might be when we get the Mario Maker kind of dump.
Yeah.
Obviously, we got Animal Crossing. We've got
Luigi's Mansion 3.
I fully
Luigi's
expect
Mansion
Mario
3.
Maker 2 to be the same game as Mario Maker 1 with new stuff, and the only thing that I want to know, and that most people really need to know, that they can learn otherwise just by buying the video game, is how sharing levels works.
Okay,
That's
guys.
about
I
it.
think that's going to be that and the multiplayer, because I'm pretty sure that's going to allow for at least 2 to 4 players this time.
Okay,
there's a lot
guys.
for them. There is a lot
They
for
don't
them.
have to go through
Yeah.
all of the new stuff they added because, yeah, people can just discover that as they play.
Okay, guys. So,
Cool stuff.
here's a wild thought. You all are upset because Reggie won't be in the next Direct. He's retiring on the 15th. You guys know these things are recorded in advance, right?
Yeah, they're...
They're not live.
Oh no!
That's the other thing. They can totally do like a Thursday Direct, and it's like, "Hi, it's me, Reggie. Today's April 1st. I am leaving my office as I speak."
Yeah, Reggie. Yeah, I mean, it could happen. I just think people are making a little bit too big a deal of Reggie leaving. It's just somebody's leaving their position. Like Reggie did, he did a lot of good things for the company. He was a very charismatic, personal guy that acted as a face for Nintendo of America.
Yeah.
But he's still alive, guys. I know everyone has said that before, but like, it's not like he's dead. He's probably taking a short leave or retirement, and I bet you within the next year or two he'll go get a job at U-Haul or something. And if you're a really big Reggie fan, you can go become a fan of U-Haul. But just like some other giant corporate entity. But yeah, like it's not. I don't know. Like people are acting like he's dying. It's a little weird to me.
What was that?
And I love
hard
Reggie.
time,
We
I like-
need his final words before he leaves Nintendo.
Dude, I always see that thumbnail of that Arlo video with
Oh,
the sunset
yeah.
with Reggie's face. Listen to it or watch it, so I have no idea what he's saying in it. But I'm like, man, come on. You're only getting away with this because you're a Muppet.
Yeah.
What was that Hard Times article? Gamer shocked as employee decides to leave job by choice.
Once again, I love Reggie. he was good for Nintendo in several different ways.
Yeah.
And I wish him the best of luck. You know, just think that we don't necessarily need to see him again, and if we do, like you said, yeah, it's pre-recorded. I do think that they'll do some stuff for Mario Maker, and also the thing is, this is at E3. Especially, I feel like we're on the cusp of some weird Microsoft Nintendo stuff being announced. And if anything happens, if they're all like, "We've got the Master Chief Collection," whatever, that'll be.
Oh no! Don't do that. Don't do that to me.
I'm just saying that'll be an E3 thing.
Yeah.
If that happens.
I don't know if it was. I don't think it was ever planned, but because it's basically just Nintendo and Microsoft at E3 this year.
Yeah. Well,
this
it's
is
also
the perfect time to announce stuff. I know there are the
Yeah.
other smaller ones there as well.
Google Stadia.
But this is like a perfect time for them to announce like a collab thing. Like if Miyamoto shows up during the Xbox stage show.
I mean, to be fair, Sony's backing out only because they'd have a whopping 2 games to show. So, oh no, 3. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting they're making that Assassin's Creed clone. Oh my god, I can't believe that game exists. I can't believe
I don't even know what game that is.
it's the Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I've liked a lot of Sony's offerings this gen. Horizon's good.
I have 'em.
Spider-Man's good. I know you're like God of War's a movie, but it's a pretty good movie. I like God of War. But like every time I see Days Gone, I'm like another zombie game. I don't understand like the appeal.
That's
because
been
they're treating it.
That's been like their crowning achievement for the last 3 or 4 years, and every single time someone's been like, "Stop! We don't like it. It doesn't look nice. It looks fucking boring."
Yeah, it looks like the most generic. Like it looks like if I was watching a sitcom and somebody was playing a game that was like trying to emulate like what video games are now. They're like, "Yeah, I'm playing Days Gone."
The funniest
Like, it's a fake
thing
game.
is I was talking to someone about how like dull and boring it is, and they were like, "Oh, well, it's not actually that dull and boring. It's going to be open world." And I went, "Oh, then you just made it worse. It has all the buzzwords. It's got zombies. It's like a third-person cinematic shooter. It's open world."
Gravity Rush 2. I've never played either of the Gravity Rush games, and they both look pretty great.
Yeah. Hey, don't forget about the 1,000 VR games Sony showed off at the State of Play. Hey, you know what? Good. I like more
think it's
VR
actually-
games.
I think it's actually pretty great that Nintendo started the direct format when they did.
Yeah.
Got a leg up on everybody else. Like I feel like they've got it figured out now, and I feel like Sony and Microsoft are starting to do the same sort of thing, but they don't get it yet.
People need to stop hating on VR because I like it.
I like PSVR.
I
I
think-
I bought PlayStation Move yesterday.
Hell
finally.
yeah, gamer. I mean,
It's on a drought. You can't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
I've been looking for it for like 4 months, and I just happened to be driving down from the north yesterday morning. Randomly Googled at the Smith's toy store all the ones that were on my route home, and one of them happened to have PlayStation Move.
VR cost us a good Iron Man game. You can't say that. It's probably swell. It's probably real good.
Yeah, you can't say the.
There's not a lot of VR games I've played that are just outright bad. Like most are like pretty well made and put together, and I like.
VR
With some
is
VR games,
such
there's
a
stuff
core
like-
gamer thing. It's such a dude in his basement with no friends thing. I'm sorry.
No, it's not. If anything, hilariously enough, some of the most use I've gotten out of VR is having friends come over and have them try out different games.
Yeah, no, I agree
was
with
at somebody's
Kawlun.
house,
When I got VR, my
and they had
friends
VR,
came
I'd
over and
be-
we tried the VR World one. And even the other day, my uncle wanted to try VR, so I brought it up when I went up to the north, and I grabbed Resident Evil 7 on the way. 'cause
Hell
I knew,
yeah.
I knew he liked the horror games. And so, I watched him and my cousin play Resident Evil VR and watch them shit themselves.
By the way, so
Curious.
somebody's saying, imagine an Iron Man game that's like the new Spider-Man game. I kind of hate this false equivalency that people do, that just because you get one thing, it doesn't mean that you're not going to get another thing like the reason we didn't get Metroid Prime we didn't get Metroid Prime 4 is because of Federation Force. No, I mean there's different teams. There's a chance that no Iron Man game at all would have existed before that. This is not making that other game not exist.
Also, don't worry, Square Enix is still making that
project.
Avengers game. So I mean, I don't know what you need.
For
Colin,
PS5.
Just come out after Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yeah.
Colin, when I come over to your house, we got to play one of those interactive grab-your experiences.
Oh, so you mean the PSVR version of Dead or Alive 3 Extreme?
Yes.
I think it's funny because a lot of the stuff for VR too is the asymmetrical gameplay. Like when you have people over that can do one thing, and then the people with the visor do something else, which is exactly what the Wii U was trying to push, but people didn't like it.
Well, the Wii U does it better, to be fair. I mean, I like the I like the PlayStation VR's version of that, but there's something very weird about playing a multiplayer game like that where one person has a big helmet on.
There actually
like,
is
away
something
from everything.
very amusing about getting some friends together and then like watching someone like strap into the VR Cyber Trooper zone and then watching them like freak out to what seems like nothing unless you look at the TV screen, but you know that they're kind of like immersed in their own thing. Like strapping in some people and watching them play Super Hot VR is really fascinating. It's really fun to watch.
I need to grab Super Hot VR now that I've got
fantastic.
PlayStation Move.
It's fantastic.
I played it. I know. Well, we did the exact thing you were discussing when I went to my friend's house and tried VR for the first time because he had Super Hot, and it's just like me standing up in his living room playing Super Hot. And everyone is just watching me kind of flail my arms around and try and avoid punching the wall.
That's like what kills me about whenever there's like a new PlayStation anything, and they're like, too many VR games, and it's like, well, the biggest thing everyone complains about is that there's not enough VR games to to make buying VR worth it. And then they announce like 20 more VR games, and everyone's like, where's the real video games? It's like it's the same thing with the fucking Indie Directs, where everyone wants more video games on their Nintendo Switch. They announce like 30 of them, but oh no, they're indie games. I guess that doesn't mean they're real video games.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, I don't know if the market, I don't know if the VR market's ever going to really be there. I guess as price goes down and more people.
I don't think VR is going to be this like revolution that everyone super duper hyped it up to be.
We're not going to be Ready Player One over here.
No, but as a platform, as its own kind of side platform, I like it.
I feel like a lot of people reacted to it in the what does PlayStation call their streaming thing? PS Play,
State
of Play, or something. Okay, I feel like people reacted to it just how people react to 3DS games on Nintendo Directs. Like, okay, I guess we need something.
VR does not cost too much. Nowadays, the full PSVR bundle is $200. Like, if you own a PS4, which is like what, another $200, that's fine. There you go. That's like.
Couldn't you get the Pro though in order for it to actually work well?
It's a higher resolution, but it's the base PS4 still runs it fine.
And I haven't had any problems.
It's going down in price like crazy, and it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, we're going to see how Labo VR does
are
now.
putting.
I think if you have enough money to
VR?
buy a video game console, you presumably have enough money to buy a cheap VR headset down the line for it. I don't think that's like eliminating like the middleman there. I think that just makes sense.
It's just like buying a console.
It's like buying an extra console, though. I mean,
yeah.
For a lot of people, they'd be like, I'd rather buy a Nintendo Switch on top of my PlayStation 4 and then play all of these Nintendo games than play the VR games.
No, that's fine. I mean, the only reason I got VR was because the Black Friday sales made it like down by like £100.
I will probably get the VR headset come this Cyber Monday because last Cyber Monday I bought a PlayStation 4, and before that I bought an Xbox One. So I'll need something else to buy now.
That reminds me of I used to go to Texas like every year for just various cons and stuff. And at the
Some man dude
airport,
guy needs to go to jazz rehearsal. That explains so much about you, man.
and at the airport, to go back to New York, there was a Best Buy vending machine, and I would always buy something from the Best Buy vending machine before I headed back. So one year I bought like a PSP 2000, and like another year I got like a DSi.
Much as this
yeah, those are weird,
vending
man.
machine.
See, okay, Phantom, this is why you're always wrong about everything. Because I'm buying a console, then I'm buying the VR, then I'm also buying the games for it. Feels like too much where, at least for PC, I already have a PC, then just buy the VR. That's not true, because you can also just already own the console.
Yeah.
Or if you have a PC, you have to update it or upgrade it to actually run VR. Like, your argument doesn't make any logical sense. Streaming video games is bad. This is why you're not on this week. Get out.
Wow.
Get him out. Get the hell out of here.
So I was, but I do think that the PlayStation 5 is going to push VR hard. I don't really know where the next gen of systems is going to go. I mean, there's definitely room for 4K pushing better resolutions, pushing better frame rates, but if that's really going to change the way I play, so maybe that's why Sony is pushing VR. VR doesn't have that mass market appeal, so I'm really curious about how the PS5 is going to do and what's
It's
gonna
not
happen with that
like
system.
VR isn't like not necessarily. It's not really like selling well. Like like PSVR is at 3 million units. No, it just hit like 4 or 5 million. Which in terms of like console sales, oh, that's bad. But at the same time, that's like above their expectations, and it's the best-selling headset on the market.
I think it's nice that motion controls have kind of found a second life via VR.
I wish those Move controllers were better, but that's really about it. They're like a little too outdated. That's
the Joy-Cons, the motion control and the Joy-Cons, it's pretty good. It's
I'm talking about the Move controllers, but yeah.
I was just using that as a transition point.
Yeah.
I've been doing the Switch fitness boxing for the past like week and a half.
Yeah, I've noticed. How's that?
Dude, it's good. It kicks your butt. I've been burning like 500 calories a day on it. It's not bad. It's definitely a little cheaply made.
Yeah.
Like you can see like a couple things. You're like, oh, so I have to do all of my conversions in metric. They don't let me do standard, and I'm a dumb American. I'm like, fine, I'll have to put all of my information. Like that seems like such an easy thing. They totally steal the Wii Fit style. But you can customize your trainers. You can unlock clothes for them.
Ooh.
So it's super fun. No, but I like it. I like the gamification of exercising in general.
Yeah.
You know, I get really tunneled in when I'm trying to hit something for gaming. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get a perfect score on this stupid punch combo. So it goes by quickly. I would suggest that if somebody's looking for something that's not too expensive, you already have a Switch, and you want to add something different to your workout routine a couple days a week. I think it's absolutely worth it. If I got the VR headset, I would totally get Beat Saber for the
PS4. A mutual friend of Matt and I, he he replaced some of his workout ethic with playing like an hour of Beat Saber. Mm-hmm. Because he just like it's crazy. It's like wild. Even like super hot VR, if you like sit down, well, not sit down, but if you strap in, that's better, and like get ready to go the whole experience, like you will be sweating bullets by the end of it, because like you have to contort your body in so many like bizarre, weird ways you don't expect.
Just like play the Shrek movie and Beat Saber every day, you'll be fine.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, I should do after about a month of it. I should do like a late to the party review for Switch Fitness Boxing.
You should do a before and after. You should get one of those. I mean, I imagine you haven't. I imagine playing fitness boxing doesn't cause you to lose too much, but you should still get like a huge like quadruple XL pair of like sweatpants and do like a before and after. Get some anchor arms.
No, but man. Yeah. So that is a recommendation from me if anybody's thinking about buying it. I'll say this about it: it's funny because although the motion controls are good, register any punch as a punch. You're like, do a hook. You're like, but what if I do a jab? Okay. But if you want to get the actual like meet your fitness goals based off of what they say, you should try to do the actual punches.
The last VR game I got like really into because I don't know, I've just been kind of on and off with it recently. I still need to play Astrobot. I've heard nothing but good things about Astrobot.
Oh yeah, me too. That's another one on. Look, I have a short list of
Astrobot's amazing. I 100% completed it.
But the last one I did
was, you haven't had that long. You got that quick.
It's like the key It's like the key game I have for VR. Before I bought Resident Evil.
There was like one journalist who said that like VR's getting its Super Mario 64 moment, and everyone's like, "Whoa, what the hell does that mean?" And it literally meant it's getting a 3D platformer. It was like, oh my god. What's Astrobot? It's a 3D platformer for PSVR, and a very amazing one too. It kind of it really is kind of like a throwback to like old like 3D platformers, but it also builds on a lot of the perspective stuff that Nintendo was doing with the 3D Land and 3D World.
Yeah, it very much feels like that, and it's really cool. I'm now going to ruin it for I'm sure everyone listening here. There is a level based on Undertale in Astrobot.
Badass.
Oh, nice, cool. That's good.
Called like Undertale, and is the beginning part, everything up tutorial.
It is a PlayStation VR exclusive because it is a PlayStation VR exclusive because Astrobot is a Astrobot is it is it's from the Playroom. It's that dumb camera game that was like free and was built into the PS4, their version of Face Raiders or whatever. Only good VR game is Skyrim VR. That's wrong. Also, Skyrim VR is like one of the worst ones. It's not good. That game was not built for VR at all.
Oh, wow. I just remembered Skyrim on the Switch has motion controls, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that a thing they put in there for no reason?
I really want more VR games to make more use of that gun controller. The aim, because both Farpoint and
yes, Farpoint.
Farpoint and Firewall Zero Hour are fantastic.
I played that at E3. I played 2 VR games at E3, I guess, like 2 or 3 years ago. That was one of them. That was amazing. And the other one was like Final Fantasy 15, and it was dumb.
Really highly recommend Farpoint and PSVR and Farpoint and Firewall Zero Hour. They're both really good.
Yeah, because like I said, you take a lot of the concepts from all of those motion games from like the Wii and the PS3 Move era, and you apply them to VR, and it's just like an extra layer of immersion. I think those type of games are cool.
I'll say this much: those are PSVR exclusive. Yeah, there's a lot of PSVR exclusives. The Impatient, Until Dawn, Rush of Blood, Riggs. I can go through a whole thing. I love PSVR right now. But it's funny that you're mentioning that, because it's actually really hard to go back to old like Wii games because of VR. Because you want it to be way more precise than it actually is. Like it's one thing to play like COD on the Wii, and you literally hold a button to like aim down your sights. despite you're still doing the movement stuff. It's another thing to physically hold a rifle type controller to your body and brace it like a real rifle and actually aim down the sights of the rifle.
You know,
It's really cool.
Point for that, for having kind of
Link's
the physical
has a zoom button.
Yeah.
Link's crossbow training Labo VR when.
Yeah.
Link's crossbow training steering wheel run. Donate.
Does
$500
PSVR
to the
use
next
like a
charity stream?
Does PSVR use like a basic controller? It uses the DualShock 4, the Move controllers from the PlayStation 3 that are still compatible with the PS4, and it has like a gun controller with like some analog sticks on it that are actually like really nice.
Like a lot of people enjoy using the Move controllers because obviously that gives you, you know.
Okay,
The Move
real question.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, the moves aren't. I
Anymore.
wish they had sticks. That's really really should have. I want to say they should have updated it, but the real answer is they should have also made the navigation controllers like forward compatible, because those had sticks and extra triggers on them. So I don't.
You water once again the Joy-Cons. The Joy-Cons have everything you need. That's what you need for something like that.
Why the weakest VR have the best VR games? Because despite the PS4 and the PS4 Pro being less powerful than like high-end VR rigs on PC, quality control is way higher.
Sony also has a ton of money.
factor. Yeah, the polish factor is through the roof.
Sony can afford development teams that know what they're doing and give them time and resources to do it. Speaking of what you were talking about, kind of adding that tactile sensation to VR and how it makes it that gun controller, I'm really surprised at the positive reception to Labo VR, not just from like Nintendo sources, not just from like Game Explain and Nintendo YouTubers, but from people that aren't necessarily just like big Nintendo people. I've heard nothing but good things. Obviously, because of the resolution and because it's not strapped to your head, it's not going to be, you know, there's obvious limitations to it.
Yeah.
But people are saying things like that bazooka like really adds a lot to it, and the way the games are, like it's just apparently a really good experience. And I'm thinking of picking that up because it's only what, like $40-$60 I think for the cheaper one, just to try it out.
Yeah, I'm going to be picking up right after this recording. I'm going to go take a shower, then I'm going to run to Best Buy and pick up Labo VR and the Xenoblade expansion.
So I should be getting it next week. I don't know what day yet. It depends when the post arrives.
Ooh, I could beat you to the punch.
Hey, Colin,
Yeah.
give me a Coke.
A Coke Zero.
Yeah, Coke Zero. Let's
Okay,
go.
yeah.
That underwater one with the camera, I think looks pretty neat too. So maybe I'll go for the larger one.
I'm just gonna be getting the basic one, if only because I wanna be the first one that recreates E1M1 from Doom in that little Joy-Con Garage VR program.
Okay, but listen, if they have a camera for VR where you can adjust the lens, and that's like an entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
Needs to be Pokemon Snap finally, right? This needs to be where they make a new Pokemon Snap.
Yeah.
Would be what everybody wants. So that's what I'm waiting for.
Someone in chat says, I hope they let third parties and indie developers use Labo VR. There's nothing stopping them. It's just cardboard.
Yeah, they could just. They don't even need. I don't think they would need permission to do it. They just need to add VR.
Yeah,
mode.
they just need to do it. Demo added support for the Labo piano.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's a piano-based rhythm game. They said, fuck it, might as well.
It's good to get more use out of the Labo, because that's the big problem with it. Labo is massive and it takes up so much room, and you barely ever use it.
Yeah, I bought the variety kit, and I still literally have not put it together.
I've got a big box behind me because I have put them all but the robot one together, and it just sits there, and I don't know where I'm going to put this box now.
But I know for a fact that if I buy that Labo thing, it'll get done within an hour, because I really want to try Zelda VR. That's like See, okay, so like it's actually good that we're bringing up Labo VR and PlayStation VR, because one of the things that I actually don't like about PlayStation VR is that Sony hasn't tried to ham-fist it into more of their first-party games. And the thing is the implementation of it doesn't even have to be like some grand first-person mode. I would just love if they implemented a mode in Horizon Zero Dawn or God of War that just like widens the aspect ratio to like 21:9. Just wraps it around your vision.
That's what Hellblade did, didn't it?
Yeah, like that's like the simplest and easiest way of adding a VR mode that would still be like incredibly immersive. And I'm really glad that that's actually what Nintendo is kind of doing with Breath of the Wild VR on Switch. It's not extending it's not extending the aspect ratio, but it is just allowing you for greater camera control and sort of immersion by just kind of like sucking your eyeballs into the video game and using those as like the main camera. I think that's really fantastic.
Do you think that the proposed Switch Pro that's coming out might have better screen? Might be a little bit better for the VR?
Maybe. I don't know.
Because
I still don't think the Switch Pro will be a major upgrade.
It doesn't have to be. Just if it has more memory and a higher clock speed, and it could out at 1080p on that screen.
I think they would stick to 720p because sticking it to 720p is just going to save battery life. I
don't think they could make the screen any better without making it like
way more expensive.
Burst to flames.
Yeah, exactly.
So the thing is,
what if the Pro has a backpack that you wear, and the backpack's a giant battery?
I did. You know what's funny though? I did actually initially think that if Nintendo was going to make a dedicated VR headset, not a cheap Labo VR head, but like a real one, they would have like a docking mechanism in the headset.
So the thing that I think is, if there's a Switch revision, it has to be no thicker than the current Switch, and with that like restriction, there's not much room for any more additions unless they make it like wider,
taller,
and wider.
It's just the Switch macro.
Someone in chat said, do you guys think the first big VR MMO will be the addictive downfall of humanity?
We saw it. It's called Ready Player One.
Yes.
I'm ready for Sword Art Online.
You know, the funny thing is, everyone...
A mediocre movie.
Everyone jokes about VR chat, but there's another game that the name escapes me at the moment, but it's basically VR chat if it were an actual video game, because there's like mini games and stuff put into it.
PlayStation Home's original idea, something like that, a bunch of like mini games.
Yeah, it was like a Second Life clone.
Yeah.
God, what was it called? I'm gonna have to open up my email and and look, because they send me emails about this stuff all the time. Let's see if I just type in like VR, what happens. God, I hate that the name escapes me right now.
Name escape. That's a great name for a game, actually.
Yeah. Someone keep talking while I look this up.
So have you guys watched the Star Wars Episode 9 trailer?
Oh hell yeah! I love that Palpy's back.
Guys, I feel like that's too big of a thing to jump to right now. It needed to be its own thing. We can't go back to VR after talking about Star Wars.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a. Whew.
You needed to start with a crappier trailer or something. I think the movie should have been called. I think Episode 8 should have been called "Screw You." J.J. Abrams, and then Episode 9 should have been called "Screw You, Ryan Johnson."
Yeah,
I do what I want, because I feel like the entire through line of the Last Jedi Last Jedi. I know that's just like one line from one character, but that's kind of what they were saying. They're like, no, we need to
move on.
move on and kind of push us in a different direction. And this one's literally like Rise of Skywalker.
Okay, I just remembered the name.
Here. Lando's here. Okay, sorry.
I finally remember the name. It's called Rec Room. I don't know why it took me so goddamn long to remember it, but it's Rec Room. The best thing about Rec Room is that it's on like all platforms. It's free, and you don't even need VR to play it. But I would love to see them bring that. Maybe they're bringing it to Switch. I don't know. I think I remember reading something about that. Oh, they were asking if people wanted to see it on Switch. That was the dealio.
I was watching a Spawnwave video talking about what he thought about the Switch quote-unquote pro revision, and I agree with him. He was saying that it a lot of maybe that to kind of upgrade the chipset.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
I don't think any revision is going to be a major revision.
Yeah.
Switch, personally.
But what he's saying is that because NVIDIA, what was the X1 chip that NVIDIA made? The Tegra X1?
The Tegra X1.
The story, I don't know how much of an urban legend it is and how much it is true, is that they had just a lot of stock of this Tegra X1, so Nintendo kind of got a sweetheart deal on it to use it for their Switch. Nobody knew the Switch was going to be as popular as it is. Now Tegra needs to continue making that chip, but they don't want to because this is literally the only product that uses it. So by having two new versions of the Switch and phasing out the original one, they can use like Tegra X, Tegra X2, or whatever, just because it'll literally be cheaper to produce that than to continue to produce this older chip.
So
I don't think Nintendo will make dedicated VR games unless the VR set is actually successul.
Yeah.
Because that's basically what they said, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They're doing this to prove the ground. If VR needs good software to sell, then they've got it, and they'll do that. If it doesn't sell, then it's just a fad, something like that.
There's definitely sort of like a correlation between like between like the development of the Switch and like the weird thing NVIDIA does with the Tegra chips, because they were working on a portable version of the Shield, another Shield tablet that was going to use the Tegra X1, but they canned it. And a lot of people are saying that the chips that they were producing to make that tablet then went into the Switch. However, the Shield, the current Shield that you can go to Best Buy right now and buy, the TV, also uses a stock Tegra X1. It's like the same exact chip. It's just clocked differently. And they do have a Tegra X2. It's in cars. And they did say they're working on a new Tegra, which is Volta, which is supposed to be like a huge boost in performance. But I've always said that the biggest problem with the Switch is that they can't make the original one obsolete. And I think the biggest jump in power we might see when it comes to a Switch Pro, if it even is a Switch Pro and not just a new Switch revision that just happens to maybe be a little bit faster. I'm coming from the idea that it's going to be a lot like the Xbox One S, where it's like, here's the new version of the Xbox One that's replacing the old one, and it also just happens to be like 10-20% faster.
I mean, to be fair, it's not like the PS4 Pro or the Xbox One Pro make... I'm not saying it's going to be that sort of jump in power, obviously, but it's not like they make the older versions obsolete. I still have...
Well, no, but the difference between that is that, like, the Xbox One and the PS4 are, like, the base levels of performance that a game has to target, while the Switch is under that.
Well, they would still have to target for that, but it's kind of like the new 3DS. Somebody mentioned it compared to the original 3DS. People are using that as a comparison for the upgrade. It wasn't just a better form factor. It wasn't just a better stick. It wasn't a better screen, a better battery life. Yeah, it was all that.
There's a
but
huge performance boost under the hood.
There's no way the original 3DS could run a game like Xenoblade.
Yeah.
Or if you play, all you got to do is play Hyrule Warriors on the new 3DS and the regular 3DS to see like how crazy that difference is. And yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's going to have more internal memory. I think it's going to have more RAM, and I think it'll probably have a higher clock speed. I don't know how they're going to handle all that with battery life and not having it catch on fire. But
I think what might end up happening is
maybe a better chip.
I think what might end up happening is we might see something like the new Switch can do like docked level performance in handheld, but then something higher in docked mode.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to go any higher than 1080p. That's just how I'm coming from it. I think
the worst that we'll get are certain third-party games will run kind of crappy on Switch and handheld mode.
They already kind of
just certain games.
They already kind of do.
Saying like, there's going to be some companies that will probably target the Switch Pro as their performance metric, but it's probably not going to be the games that like people that are playing the Switch Lite or whatever, like young children and casual gamers are probably not going to be trying to play Mega Bloodsport 3 by EAQ or whatever.
But will the new Switch use the old dock? Probably. It's just a hub. There's not really anything in the dock that would prevent it. I'm pretty sure the new Switch Lite will be able to be docked as well. It might need its own dock, but and like it won't come with it, but wouldn't be surprised if you could dock it.
It'll be so weird if the new Switch the Switch Lite doesn't have Joy-Cons, and it's just I like to call it the Game Gear form factor, like a PS Vita.
Someone asked, do you think Nintendo will get actual servers or would it still be peer-to-peer? Here's the thing about servers, and shut up, Matt, with your little fucking condescending laugh. No, here's the thing about peer-to-peer and dedicated servers. It's game by game. Not every game is dictated to use dedicated servers or peer-to-peer. It just kind of depends on the situation. So it's really up in the air.
Almost every fighting game uses peer-to-peer, right?
Yeah, also almost every console shooter uses peer-to-peer.
Yeah, like people say that like it's a weird thing that only Nintendo does. But it's almost like an industry standard for things that aren't that don't have a lot to be processed on the server side.
What if the Pro is just a dock, which was a performance enhancer? Not going to happen because the USB-C port on the Switch cannot. It's not a Thunderbolt port, which means they can't like connect it for extra power to the tablet unless they do some weird thing, like they build an entire brand new system in the dock, and they only use the Switch for like storage and game data, kind of like a reverse Super Game Boy.
Man, it's pretty great.
Yeah.
You know what wasn't as good for me was the GameCube, the thing you put on the bottom.
Yeah, the Game Boy player.
Because the GameCube controller is not good for Game Boy Advance games.
That default's horrible.
The button layouts with the incongruous giant A button and B, it just doesn't work that well when you're only using two buttons. And then the L and R buttons, because they're analog, have so much give. It was just like not fun playing.
I'm just going to reply to a few other people in chat. Here's the thing. I hate peer-to-peer because I have NAT Type D internet. Dude, just like forward your ports. Dedicated servers wouldn't change that. That's like your internet connection. That's not server side. I can't see the Switch Lite not having detachable Joy-Cons, since most casual games like Super Mario Party, Let's Go, and Labo need detached Joy-Cons to be played. I think it's fine, if only because you can still, like, connect. I think the Switch Lite will still have a wireless, like, component inside it that allows you to connect a controller wirelessly.
Yeah, it'll probably still have Bluetooth.
Yeah.
There's certain games that require the Joy-Cons for, like, it would suck if, okay, let's say you're a parent buying a Switch Lite or Switch Micro, whatever you want to call it, for your kids for Christmas, right? You're like, oh, why don't I buy this 1-2 Switch party game? That looks fun. And if you don't have the attachable Joy-Cons with HD Rumble, you can't play it. So you buy it, and then you realize you need an extra controller to buy it after the kid already has it. You know?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I see that, because I do believe you'll be able to use Joy-Cons and probably a Pro controller and other things if you hook it up.
It would probably be a problem if a parent bought their kid the Switch Mini and they bought them Super Mario Odyssey, because you need motion controls for that game.
You gotta shake it, yeah.
Yeah.
It'll probably still have motion controls built into the tablet. They just like I imagine like the big thing that makes it
Mario Odyssey though.
The big thing that's gonna make
you can play Mario Odyssey handheld mode. It's not like you can't do that, man.
Yeah.
Use motion controls though.
You use the Joy-Cons attached as motion. Have you never played it in handheld mode?
I have. It doesn't work. You can't do all the precise maneuvers with it.
Beat the game with it.
Yeah. You can beat the game with it, but like
we're not saying the optimal way to play. We're saying if you buy it for your kid, for your 6-year-old, can that kid play the game?
Actually, most Japanese games have terrible online in America because they're designed around Japan's internet instead of America's shite internet. That's not how that works. That's not how internet works. Don't say that. Oh no,
they're
it's like
designed to have lesser load because people would be playing it on the subway.
Yeah, but that wouldn't what? That's not how that wouldn't like affect how it works in America though. That's not how like data centers and connection speeds work. It's not how that works.
How any of this works.
It's not how none of this works. Where's riffing on Great Ace Attorney Part 7 tonight? Tonight. Be there. 9 o'clock, as usual. Eastern Standard Time. I love you. Also, Japan does not have better internet. I've been there. I even double-checked with Push, who lives there, when I was riding my RE7 Cloud. They don't have amazing... It's closer together because it's a smaller country, but it's not like the speeds aren't better. You're still getting like 5 megabit per second public Wi-Fi, and on top of that, just like any other Wi-Fi connection, if you move, you lose connection because that's how it works. It's not like cellular connection where it's always constant.
You know that Singapore has an average 3.39 megabytes per second.
I have gigabit.
Yeah, but we're talking about average.
I know, but I'm just saying. But what I'm saying is that like the average is weird because they like that includes people that are like in the middle of nowhere. Also, people in like the middle of like metro areas where it's way better. The larger a country, the shittier the infrastructure. And that's not an internet problem or a country problem. That's just a landscape problem. That's an Earth problem.
The United States is the 20th, according to Business Insiders, with 25.86 megabytes per second, which is not bad.
No, that's not bad at all. That's fine. That's perfectly fine for playing most video games.
Japan is 28.
For Fortnite.
Yeah.
Japan is 28.94 at 12. Like a massive performance increase, even if that was what everyone had.
Yeah.
High speed right now. What is my internet speed right now? This will be fun. Come on, guys. Let's all test our internet.
Let's all flex. Let's all flex our internet speeds.
Not flexing anything.
Get Galactic Pirate in here so he can tell us about his like amazing 280 megabits per second internet. That's better than American internet.
Dude, I've got a 15 megabytes per second download. I'm not flexing anything. I need to go reset my router.
Oh my god! Don't do that! Don't do that!
No, right.
Isn't it just about pings though? That's also a completely different thing. Ping is just the time it takes for your device to connect to the data center, which is more dependent on data center location than like actual speeds.
And ShadowLink, have you looked at the comments for the Know Your Moves that we helped with, the Simon and Richter one?
I haven't checked it since I left my comment.
Man, there's so many people that are just all like, you can also tether with the uppy. Just wanted to say you can also tether with the uppy. Hey guys, did you know you could tether with the uppy? yeah, man, I know that. And there's some people that are like, I love like how I've these because Relax gets so many views on these. There's so many people trying to play gotcha with everything. They're like, actually, in Chronicles, Simon could also angle his whip in the air, and then Jonathan Morris could also tether from the roof and blood. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not going to talk about like every little thing. This is a 20-minute video already. Like,
people are always bizarrely pandemic weirdos. Like I remember there was like people in I don't know, people in the God, what was it? The Doom Guy RTC. They always go like, it's not Doom Guy, it's Doom Slayer. Even though I have a joke in the video about how Doom Guy has like 20 names. And that it also doesn't really make a difference.
A lot of people also bring up the, well, actually, Simon and Mega Man were in the Captain N cartoon, not the comic. I'm like, yeah, I know, that's how I wrote it. But that's a lax said comic, and the comic didn't have them because it only had first-party Nintendo characters. I get that, but who cares?
Matt had to go through the trouble and the pain of playing Castlevania 64. And he didn't use that footage.
Yep.
Somebody did get me on something though, and I could have sworn, because it's not something I looked up, it's just something that I could have sworn that Annette's girlfriend / later wife was Maria Renard's sister-in-law. And they're like, well, actually, she's a descendant of the Belmonts. I'm like, well, yeah, she's got a little bit of the Belmont blood. She's like a distant cousin, but I mean, whatever. The European aristocracy, of course, are all interbred. But they're all like, so. But I'm like, she's also definitely his sister-in-law. They're like, no. And I looked it up, and the thing is, in the localization of Dracula X, they call them sisters. The actual in Rondo and the actual games before, and the actual, I guess, Dracula X, the Japanese one, they weren't sisters. I'm like, well, how did I know that? I'm like, the one that I actually played in language when it came out, so that's the one I remember. Like, I played like Rondo later, and it doesn't really explicitly say one way or another. Fine, I'll give you that one. Anyways,
there's always people in the comments trying to act smarter than the person in the video. Yeah, like the guy who keeps trying to tell me that the Paul McCartney and Smash joke isn't funny. What are you talking about?
That guy.
It's like...
He's listening right now, I'm sure, because he always comments on these.
Sir, get a better taste in humor. Also, I'm sorry for dragging out this joke I've brought up all of, like, twice in my life.
Oh, he's just going to look up every time that you've brought it up in one of these videos and outline it.
Make a little compilation, and then he's going to be like, look how unfunny this is, and then people give it, like, thumbs up and be like, yeah, I thought it was funny. I love it. Colin's the best. God. I want to kiss him on the lips.
It's a supercut of every time you're saying it.
Yeah, there you go. Let's do it.
Weed Player asks, did you play Castlevania 64 with a steering wheel? No, I wish.
Oh, that sounds like... If you were able to...
That sounds like an improvement, honestly.
Man, can you imagine? Have you played Castlevania 64 before? Like,
I have. I've played with Carrie, and Carrie's faster than Reinhard Schneider.
Imagine doing that stupid where you have to walk the nitroglycerin. Imagine doing that with the steering wheel. Sounds awful. Oh man!
Sorry, I disappeared for a bit. But now I hear we're talking about the worst Castlevania game, are we?
Yes.
Have you played it? You know what's funny?
It was the first Castlevania game I ever played.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
When I originally played that game, I'm like, it's okay, because it was back in the N64 day, and we didn't know what good 3D games beyond 3D adventure games beyond Zelda were. I'm all like, it's not the worst.
I mean, I'll give it this: the music's good.
Funny is, Legacy of Darkness is so much better because you don't play as Reinhard Schneider.
Oh like, god, just playing as Reinhard Schneider makes the experience like so much worse because he moves like a tank. He moves
like a Belmont.
He's so slow. It's like the most unresponsive 3D control I've ever felt.
I kind of get it. I feel like they were trying to make him a Belmont, but in 3D, but they didn't give him the advantages of actually being a Belmont. Where yeah, he's got like huge range, but the other person has projectiles, so it doesn't like matter. Give him a short sword. The thing is, I'm like, why didn't you just steal more ideas from A Link to the Past? Not for Ocarina of Time at that point. Like, just give it like proper Z targeting and movement.
Yeah. Why didn't they like consult the developers of Symphony of the Night, who decided, yeah, okay, let's make Richter run. God, all you would need to make that game a little more playable is just give the characters a sprint.
If you gave them give them an actual sprint button. I do think Z targeting would have helped a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
Just those two things I think would have made the game playable.
I think all 3D games with like combat should have targeting of some kind.
I agree. I feel like there's so many attempts at 3D Castlevania, and like a lot of them get certain things right, but none of them really work.
I like the pseudo Devil May Cry games for the PS2.
Like a lot of people like what's Leon's game called?
Lament of Innocence.
Lament of Innocence. I think it's okay. I think the follow-up one with Hector is actually really good for what it is. I like the whole devil crafting system.
No,
that's a lot.
N64 game is what? Oh fuck!
It probably has the word darkness or shadow in it somewhere.
It probably has the word darkness in it.
Curse of Darkness.
Curse of Darkness. Thanks.
There we go. Yeah.
God of Darkness.
Yeah. Which, by the way, if you watch the Castlevania anime, the character of Hector was the main character in one of the 3D Castlevania games.
Oh God, I can't wait for him to be the protagonist of the next season.
I don't know if they'll actually do that.
They made him very likable in this series. Very, very likable.
I had no problem with their depiction of him. He's a Devil Forge master. Of course he's going to be weird and creepy.
Yeah, I know, but like... he's just such a fucking idiot.
Hey guys.
Super dumb.
Fellas.
Hey.
Star Wars.
Oh, now that Nintendo's back, we're going to talk about Star Wars?
Maybe. Is he back?
That's what happened with Souls. How do we end up on Castlevania?
Stop.
Why does this always happen, Smassy, when you're on a...
It's when AShadowLink and I are both on. It's because I was bringing up the Know Your Moves from Relax and like the stuff that people were saying on it.
Okay. It was good, but why is Maria listed as Richter's sister-in-law?
That's what I was saying.
Canon timeline.
Is the first one I played, because I didn't have a Turbo Duo and I played it a lot when I was younger, was Dracula X for the Super Nintendo. And in that one, they call them sisters.
Yeah. No, I know why it's like that, but it's also it's not what happens, Spazzy. You should know this now.
Shut up, man.
I mean, if you grew up with a Turbo Duo, you still wouldn't have been able to play Rondo unless you imported it.
I know.
Sad day.
Days.
Okay. So that's my headcanon. Speaking of my headcanon, obviously it's going to be revealed, and I replied to a tweet with this, that the reactor threw Palpatine down is actually a time warp, and it warped him just to this moment in time. And Rey is going to have to get him back to die at the proper time, but then she's going to go back in time and take the name of Shmi Skywalker and then give birth to Anakin, and that's why it's Rise of Skywalker. It's poetry.
Circle.
Yeah.
This whole time it was a prequel.
Kylo's his own grandpa.
So literally, no, hold up. So like literally the hour before they announced the title and showed off the teaser, we were making, like, Matt and I and a couple of friends were making jokes about what the new Star Wars movie would be about, and they're all true. I made a joke that what they're going to do is they're going to do a Phantom Pain where it turns out that Snoke was actually like a Venom Snoke, and in episode 9 they have to take on Big Snoke. And
actually,
but no, hold up. Now that we know that, well, at least we mostly know that Palpy is back, and people are now bringing up the idea that Snoke was actually a Palpatine Force projection, so it's fucking true.
I was thinking if they go the Dark Empire route, which the old expanded universe comics of himself, that could totally have been like an imperfect Palpatine clone, like a bad clone that he had created.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. The dominant genes.
I hope so. That's what I want. I want more Palpy. I'm like there's been a lot of people who say that, like, I don't know, I saw like a couple people on Twitter saying like, bringing back Palpatine's like the laziest thing they could do. No, it isn't. He's like the best Star Wars character, and like I want to know more about the Star Wars Illuminati. Like, that is so fascinating to me.
So
before he says do it.
So we were coming up with some. We were shooting the shit, having some Palpy jokes yesterday, and we came up with like the dumbest possible explanations for why he's still alive. Like the hole that Palpatine gets thrown down is just a matte painting.
Yeah, Palpatine had a matte painting specifically constructed in the Death Star to make that little chasm look deeper than it actually is. So we could just land on it and then slide down like it's a slide and get into an escape pod and fucking zoom off.
You know what I think is interesting? This is something else I tweeted out. So in The Force Awakens, you have Kylo Ren where he says, "Show me again, grandfather, and I'll finish what you started." And that the connotation of that is like he's not really talking to Anakin or Vader. He's just kind of crazy, and probably Snoke is manipulating him into thinking things. But actually is in contact with Anakin, and Anakin's just trying to get him close to Palpatine to literally finish what he started, which is killing Palpatine.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. I mean, considering the Jedi can come back as ghosts, I don't understand why the Siths can't.
Because that's the whole thing. The whole point behind the
Vader
Sith
as a ghost at the end of episode 6. So,
but Vader, it's because Vader turned back right before he did the last minute repentance, which apparently is enough. He said a couple Hail Marys, and now he's in heaven. He's in Force heaven.
We have a lot of really great ideas that I want to see come back in episode 9. First off, Palpy's still alive. He didn't die. He's just alive. He found a convenient way out. 2, I would like it to be revealed that Palpatine is actually Anakin's father, which makes sense because Palpatine's like, what, 40 in episode 1?
No, he manipulated the midichlorians. Don't you remember?
Yeah.
The midichlorians are his father.
So I would like to see that happen. I would like to see, God, what else were we saying? Oh, I want the ending of the movie to just be Rey and Kylo Ren in like a big throne room about to take out Palpatine, and he's like, "You don't know the real truth," and then he claps his hands, and like the entire throne room just turns into a white void, like in that one episode of SpongeBob. And he's like, "This entire universe is a Force projection. I've been fucking with you this whole time. There is no Skywalker."
Architect from the Matrix.
Yeah. There's so much. I want to know. I want to know what, like, bamboozling Palpatine's been up to this entire time.
Is Luke Skywalker.
I just keep thinking of Palpatine as some like 60s Batman villain now.
He is, though. He really is.
escaping on like pods and just laughing to himself. He's like, "I'll get you next time, Skywalker."
I hope in episode 9, Palpatine comes out of the shadows at exactly the 69-minute mark and dabs while smoking a blunt and says,
"Let's hit that fucker up."
And then the Death Star 7 explodes. Where did the other 3 go?
Very
no
funny.
one cares. Death Star 7.
I mean, if you like, I the way I've always said it is, I'm not a Star Wars fan, but I'm a fan of Star Wars. Like, my love is both half ironic and full blown. I love this franchise, and like, there is some really, really, really goofy shit behind the scenes, and it's amazing. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever watched. I mean, Red Letter Media is like, but like, it's the best. It's the best wet YouTube channel. But they have this one video where they explain the backstory of Darth Vader's suit, and it's like,
it's a paint suit.
It's so unintentionally funny because the idea, like the apparently what we didn't see is that Palpatine owns like a hospital called like the Shiva Palpatine Reconstruction Surgery Center.
I mean, obviously he does. Why wouldn't he? He's the Emperor.
And the suit, like, and the problem is that Palpatine is terrible with budgeting, so like the suit has problems. Like, they detail that like Darth Vader will just hear random beeping sometimes, and he doesn't know what it means, and that the little pack on his chest is just like a bunch of buttons that don't actually do anything. They're just there for show.
You know what's funny?
And this is all canon. This is all real. This is all on Wikipedia. You can read this up.
There's an actual in-universe reason for that. Besides that he purposely made it uncomfortable and awful for him.
Yeah.
So that he would remain angry because he's Sith, and it would make him stronger. He gave him a shitty suit.
Like, apparently
so
the suit
uncomfortable.
Apparently the suit has like super hearing, but it only works some of the time. So like randomly, if he's trying to like chill out, he can just hear what someone is saying from the other side of the Death Star.
And there's just a pebble at the bottom of his shoe.
Yeah.
The Chancellor Palpatine Surgical Reconstruction Center, sometimes shortened to Chan Pao Su Recon Center, crowned one of the tallest buildings in Coruscant.
We were making jokes about how at the end of episode 3.
No, it's an actual thing. You can look it up.
Yeah, no, it's a real thing. We were making jokes about how at the end of episode 3,
And
Anakin didn't actually catch fire from the lava. Just like off screen, Palpatine like threw like a Molotov cocktail or something, and then he's like, "Oh no, what happened?"
It later became known as the Emperor Palpatine Surgical Reconstruction Center, being commonly referred to as the MPAL Su Recon Center.
Oh, and the Cantina theme, you know, the one that the official genre within Star Wars canon is jizz music. Jizz.
Yes.
Star Wars is fucking weird. It's really weird. I love
Yeah.
it.
Oh man, that's a perfect
Art.
entrance music for Palpatine, though.
Yeah.
The Luke clone was called Luke, which when you read it was okay in the old Dark Empire books, but it's really funny in universe to think about people saying, "Is that Luke Skywalker or Luke Skywalker?"
All right, I'm going to I'm gonna link this in the chat. There's your proof, everybody. It's real.
I want them to steal the robot chicken joke of like Palpatine falling and then it freeze frames with the yup, that's me. Yeah, I wondered how I got here, huh? Like, I want them to
That's how the movie starts.
I want them to have flashback scenes of like bits from episode 3 where it turns out that like Palpatine was just off camera the whole time, like manipulating certain things to happen. Like, I would love that, like that one scene where Anakin's like force choking out Padme for a second, and then he's like, "This is bad, I gotta go." But then like Palpatine just comes in, like finishes the job or something. Like, you're not getting off that easy.
when Anakin goes to kill the younglings, Palpatine wasn't sure.
They were already dead when he
So they
got
were already
there.
dead.
It was a false projection.
And Palpatine was just like manipulating their bodies with the Force to make them seem alive.
Yeah.
Or like, speaking of the prequels, there's a lot of rumors that Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor have come to film roles for this.
I can imagine. I called it back in like episode 7 that they would do like by 9 they would show up.
Ending needs to be everybody sitting like in Jedi on a log, but like
Yeah.
a really big log, and just have like all the Force ghosts, like just everybody sitting around.
So I think at the end of this movie, every single important character is going to come back as a ghost and fight in a final dumb battle.
Yeah.
Okay, according to Star Wars canon, we know from the last movie that Force ghosts can physically interact with the real world because Yoda hit Luke. But
Yeah.
Obi-Wan said, "If you're doing this, I can't interfere with your battle." He told that to Luke. I don't know if that's just Obi-Wan being Obi-Wan and being all like, "I'm not going to do this," or if there's like some sort of
From
weird
a
Force ghost
certain
rules.
point of view.
Well, I could have, but
Obi-Wan might
Well,
actually be the most unreliable narrator in the entirety of Star Wars.
he is very pithy and yeah, he's pretty great actually.
Because in
to
Empire,
be
Luke's
fair,
like, why didn't you, like, what was it, it's in, not Empire, it's in Return of the Jedi, he's like, why the hell didn't you tell me, this is a little bit of crucial information that Vader's my father, and it's like,
Because I need you to kill him.
and then he's like, I did say it from a certain point of view, it's like, fuck off, like, what is,
Doesn't he
Like,
say-
listen,
doesn't he say
you made
that
me live in
Vader
a desert
killed
for
his
18
dad?
years. Let me have this. Let me have this.
listen, old man, I don't need this shit right now.
Alec Guinness in 18 years. This was not easy for me.
Oh, you know what was another? Oh, you know what's another theory I came up with that I want to see in episode 9? Jabba was in my pocket the whole time. I bought the slave Leia outfit. It was all me.
By the way, can we talk about the Poe Dameron Nathan Drake thing?
Oh yeah, it's just he's
It's
just dressed
fantastic.
exactly how he looks in Uncharted 3. It's ridiculous.
Like it is. If somebody had just shown that to me and been like cosplay, I'd be like, yeah, no, it's totally just Nathan Drake. Let me find a tweet. Oh, here's a random person who tweeted it. Tell me that's not Uncharted Nathan Drake.
It is. It
Wow,
totally is.
It literally is Nathan Drake.
The only thing he's missing is the little holster on the side. Otherwise, it's exactly the same.
Wow.
Energy, guys.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know, man. What Skywalker are they talking about? What does it even mean? It could, like, literally, Star Wars has been really good at making these trailers where they don't actually tell us anything.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Anything.
The episode 9 trailer starts off with like Rey doing some Twin Snakes level shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope she like fucking cartwheels off of a rocket at some time in the movie.
Putting the image on screen right now so people can tell what we're referring
like
to.
Pure action.
Do it.
Like Resident Evil level action.
Star Wars really is like Kingdom Hearts for normies. Like it really is like this like super, like if you get into it, it's like needlessly complicated, and that's the best part. Like that is like, because they also still have to make it like super simple for the people who have like an IQ under 100, so they gotta like follow along somehow. But I just love that like their ideas of twists and turns is like always some ridiculous crazy shit. It's the best. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm interested to see where it goes. Here's my problem with like modern movies, especially like big blockbusters, is that now we're gonna get 12 more trailers and teasers and like YouTube sites making theories and just all sorts of stuff like that. And I would love, like, this has sold me on watching it. I would have probably watched it anyways. I just want to go and watch the movie now. I don't need to know anything else. I'll figure it out. It's like right now with Endgame, did a really good job of not showing too much, but they keep coming out with teasers and trailers. I'm like, what? We're all gonna go see it. Just stop making these. There's no reason.
I
just want to go in and watch the movie.
I was sold on episode 9 the minute I walked out of episode 8. I was like, yeah, well, let's keep going. Let's just like see how wackier this could get. Yeah.
So much of this is resetting what happened in 8. It's hilarious because
it's
literally Ryan Johnson being all like, "Man, whatever, JJ, let's reset the table," and then JJ being all like, "Hey, let's whatever, don't worry about that." Kylo Ren literally remade his mask in this trailer. Well, that's amazing.
The problem was that JJ Abrams loves his question box bullshit, where everything has to be a mystery, and then when Ryan Johnson came on board to make episode 8, and he went, "Hey, JJ, do you know what any of this means?" He went, "No. All right, I'm going to go work on an Apple TV show. See ya." And then Ryan Johnson just had to make everything up from scratch. So he just went, "No, then yeah, like let's fix that. Let's like subvert everyone's expectations." And because of it, I really like episode 8. I know people hate it, even though it's really nowhere near being like the worst Star Wars movie. Like, I don't understand how people can like have such like a vitriol for episode 8, but like have also seen Rogue One and think that movie is fine, when that movie straight up is like utter dog shit. Also, the prequels exist.
I like Rogue One.
I don't. I thought it was a boring, shitty movie.
Rogue One is average, I think.
I like what Rogue One was trying to do in that it was showing that, hey, this is an actual war. It's not just about all of these big heroes you see that survive everything. There's groups of people that have sacrificed a lot and died. And, I mean, we knew more or less how it was going to end, but I thought it was entertaining. I thought the characters... interesting characters. The characters didn't really have a lot of time to develop.
But that's my problem with it, is that it's a boring, shitty movie because the characters are boring and shitty and there's like nothing to them. And I don't want to hear, well, they're gonna die at the end, so it doesn't matter.
No,
that doesn't make for a good movie.
Okay, but
you want them to be more interesting.
You want to be invested in the movie. You're not just. I hate that argument. I hate when people are like, you don't need to see Titanic. You know what happens at the end, but it's how you get there. It's how you get to the point where the ship sinks. You want to know. You want to know the characters. That's what makes these movies work.
Okay. Then how can you justify Laura Dern and Benicio del Toro in the last Star Wars when they were caricatures? They were like, there's nothing to them, and then they have them play like these big important parts, like we're attached to them in any way. You know, they have like Admiral Akbar die off screen.
Yeah, good.
Basically, and they have what's her name, General Holdo, have this big sacrifice, play this big part, but we didn't have any time to be attached to her.
That's an action, but like I'm giving you that. That's a fault of the movie. I'm not saying that Episode 8 is perfect. When I say Episode 8 is a good movie, I'm not saying it's the fucking best Star Wars movie because it's not Empire Strikes Back. However, they are still better written because I didn't know what the fuck was gonna happen to them by the end of the movie. Unlike Girl and Pilot and Robot in fucking Rogue One, who are just there to go and then die. That's the entirety of Rogue One. Bring back the guy from Dark Forces. Bring back Kyle Katarn, goddammit. Ah!
Like, what were Finn and Rose's arcs? Why were they there? You could have literally cut them out of the movie and it wouldn't have changed. Like, Episode 8 was...
Rose was there so that Finn isn't gay, because you can't have gay people in Star Wars.
That's literally it. And like, the thing is, I don't have any problem with like, introducing a character like Rose is fine, but then like, oh my god, and she's like, no, we have to save people with love or something at the end. I'm like,
yeah, no, Rose is like objectively the worst part of that movie. I mean, also, okay, I'll say this much, because I'm...
Marie Tran is awesome, and she did a great job. It's just that, like, that character was like, why? Like, do something with her.
Dengar, that monkey fuck. No, there's, okay. I'll say this much because I was slinging out some hot hyperbole right there. I'll say this much.
We dropped like 8 people from that yelling. Anyway,
good. They're clearly not enough to handle our Star Wars discussion. No, but like, I mean, Episode 8 isn't perfect, but like, it's not like it's got problems. Okay, so here's
I wanted Luke Skywalker to solve all the problems with a laser sword. I wanted that. No. I think that's why a lot of people dislike it.
I don't know. I rewatched Episode 8 for like the first time in like 2 years, and like it's actually amazing how all the stuff people complain about are such a really tiny part of the movie. Like the casino planet is like 5 minutes long.
Like an hour.
No, it's not. It really isn't.
It feels like it. Yeah.
It's worth it just for the joke at the beginning where they reprise the cantina line, and it's just like, "There's no more place of scum and villainy in the universe," and it's just like rich people.
I'll say one thing for Episode 8, which I didn't hate. I did have a lot of little problems with it. Is I liked Rey a lot better in Episode 8 than in Episode 7 because it actually gave her like you actually saw a lot more of her personality flaws. And that, like, how so much of her, like, 'cause in Episode 7, you really didn't get any of this, where you saw how so much of her struggle came from her identity. I mean, in 7, you saw she wanted to find her parents, but you didn't really get that struggle. And the fact that, I don't know, like, she's very trusting. She thinks that she can solve everything just by brute forcing it, quote unquote. And, like, there's a lot more to her. I didn't like her as a character in Force Awakens at all, because she wasn't really a character, but then neither was anybody in that movie. But in 8, they made her somebody that I'm like, oh, okay, this is I get where this character is coming from. I can definitely appreciate her, and I liked her a lot. I get a lot of the complaints with Luke, like, what they did with Luke, though. But the thing is that so much time has passed between the end of Episode 6 and now that we don't really see his journey. But like, that character was like his core character trait, others and his hope. Like, he literally was not good at anything. Like, he just got his butt kicked by Vader until the very end, and he won by doing nothing, by just kind of like believing in love and goodness and other Sailor Moon stuff. And then, like, to see that character subverted to the point where he's become so jaded that the one thing that we knew about him, he wouldn't even go and try to make it up to his nephew. That just seems so out of character from the Luke that we knew. But I can see how it would be a logical endpoint for that character, but without seeing the journey, it felt very cheap. So I get that. But I do think that most people that complain about him just were like, no, why did Rey solve things? She's a woman. And they were all like, why didn't he solve things with his laser sword? He should have shown up and like cut things in half.
I love how he literally says early on in the movie, like, you want me to come out with a laser sword and take out some ATSTs? Yeah.
I get that, but I also get where it doesn't feel true to his character to people that are really invested. So, like, I have mixed feelings on how he's used. Well, dude, because the thing is,
yeah, I'm not like the biggest. I'm probably
Mr.
the least Star Wars fan I'm in this podcast, but I for me with Episode 8, it's like a very middle of the road. It's not the worst Star Wars movie, but it's like far from the best Star Wars movie. I think the main complaint from me on this film is that basically every character, all the main characters who we're meant to root for, just aren't likable at all in this movie for me, except for maybe Kylo Ren.
I liked Poe and Finn a lot more in the first one.
I did. Finn was such a nothing character in this film, and I just didn't like Rose at all.
Yeah, they wasted him and Rose.
Yeah, Poe and his conflict with the general was the stupidest fucking thing.
I think the problem. I think the issue with Episode 8 is as I said before, like, J.J. Abrams just kind of dropped like 6 characters onto Rian Johnson's lap, even though, like, you can tell, like, the majority of effort and, like, the grand majority of the movie and all of the quality comes from all of the Rey, Luke, Kylo Ren stuff. Because that stuff is, like,
Core.
What?
Core.
What'd you say?
Yeah, the core of the story.
Oh.
The core. You cut out like a little bit on the first syllable there, and I was like, "What the fuck are you saying?"
I was like, "What?"
But no, like that's like what the majority of like, what like the hour like, what was like 60% of that movie takes place with Rey and Luke, and that stuff is absolutely fantastic. It's got really great visuals. It's got really good like writing dialogue. It's like it actually pushes the story in a direction that would actually make sense in universe. It kind of like it quells a lot of the issues that Force Awakens has, and it even rectifies some things from the prequels, which I think is really fucking interesting. I like that they literally have a moment where Luke nearly goes Anakin.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Luke, because they talk about how the Jedi, like, what did they really know? They got way too much into politics and into kind of like the strict science side of stuff. Yeah, because they almost straight up said the midichlorian thing is bullshit. They almost straight up said it, but they didn't.
Yeah,
they implied it. In that one, a lot more. In the first one, like, she was there. Like, I'm not one of those people that had like a huge hate on for her or anything, but I'm like, nah, whatever. But I thought they actually did some interesting things with her. Okay, so like I complained about Holdo before, and I've been told they're like, well, if you read the books and the stuff in her relationship with Leia,
don't do that. Don't give me that.
You don't have to do homework to watch a movie. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, no, like, I think the Rey, Kylo Ren, Luke stuff is all really good. How Luke just ends, because I felt like they made such a big deal about bringing him back that he then just kind of dies by force projecting himself too hard at the end.
His force projection was so strong his heart literally fucking exploded. That's what happened.
Yeah.
I know. JJ's bringing it back.
I find that so. Yeah, well, I feel like he's 100% bringing Luke back.
I feel like the movie's gonna start with Luke Skywalker rematerializing in his robe and sitting back up. That's how it's gonna start.
The rise of Skywalker. It's going to be some big.
Well, no one's ever really gone. Remember, he said that
Vader and Luke are just going to be brought back to life.
You know what they should do? They should completely end it on a terrible downer note, and have Kylo Ren take up the name Skywalker, and it's the rise of Emperor Skywalker. Just do it.
It'd be funny. I thought you were gonna say something like a CG Carrie Fisher gets like hit by a truck or something.
Well, apparently they're doing some Carrie Fisher stuff. That scene in Meet Joe Black where he's just looking back and gets hit by like 3 cars.
Yeah.
That Carrie Fisher scene had me a little teary. I'm all like, oh, Carrie Fisher. I wonder, it's going to be so weird how they're going to, like, are they going to be all like, well, let me go ask Leia. She's in the next room.
Apparently the idea is that they have a bunch of footage from episode 7 and 8 that they never used. And they're going to be recycling that. And you can kind of see, because, like, the that one shot from the teaser is like exactly that other shot from episode 7. It's
Are they gonna from another angle?
Yeah, exactly.
Do a lot of this. They're all like, I think that's a good idea, but we should ask Leia. Leia, do you think it's a good idea? Yes.
It's like a cut to like a completely different sequence, and she's like nodding.
Just take footage from like a bunch of different Carrie Fisher movies.
Oh my god, could you imagine? It's like Leia, we gotta take out the First Order, and it cuts to like her with the M16 from Blues Brothers. Like
actually make this the greatest movie ever made.
I'm telling you, I want episode 9 to be like 4 hours long. I want it to be R-rated. I want it to be written by Hideo Kojima. Like, I want like it just to be the wackiest thing I've ever seen.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. And the thing is, I liked The Last Jedi. I'm not like a Last Jedi hater. I just thought it was kind of mediocre in a lot of ways. Like it wasn't like my favorite Star Wars.
It has problems, but I don't know. I feel like those problems don't hold up as much on like subsequent reviewings, or like the more I think about it. Like the more it's like, man, Rose did a dumb thing, but then you watch it again and you're like, it was like a split decision. It's fine, whatever. Like there's other shit happening in Star Wars that I can be more invested in.
One thing that I don't think a rewatch would solve for me is just Holdo and Poe not sort of letting each other know what the fuck, or Holdo not letting Poe know. In doing that, he fucks everything up for everybody.
It would be different, and the entire and really the entire thing's like this weird low-speed chase that makes no sense, and they're running out of gas. Like when you really break down the plot of that, it's really stupid. But
like I get what her idea was, and I think it's quite clever as a way to get everyone away. Not like letting everyone know. Finn, Poe, and Rose just make everything worse for literally everybody, which is why their side of the movie sucks.
They weren't supposed to.
If we were more informed on Holdo's character, like if she was in the first one, and that's actually something I'm a little worried about with this next one, is that we still don't have a lot of character development on Poe, or like Poe actually got more than most, I'll say, or like any of these new characters. The only one that really gets a lot of screen time is Rey. So, and every movie they just keep introducing like, hey, remember Lando? Remember Palpatine? Like, when are we going to really get any character development or satisfactory story arcs for anybody that's not Kylo or Rey?
I mean, I think like
not about the new characters.
Finn's was pretty aight, because like all Finn needed to do was to stop being a fucking pussy. And he does. He stops being a bitch at the end of episode 8, because he's like, you know what? Yeah, the sacrifice thing is kind of badass. I'll do it. But then Rose comes in and nearly kills him. which, if that had gone any other way, totally defeated the purpose of what she was trying to do. If it did not work out for her, whoops.
Yeah, like, there's issues.
Well, yeah,
and as far as Rogue One goes, I can't really defend it much because I only saw it once in theaters, so I'll have to watch it again because I don't remember much of it at all. But then again, I've actually I used to be a huge Star Wars fan once upon a time. I've only seen Force Awakens once also in theaters, so I'll need to. I can't really say much about that. But I remember enjoying Rogue One when I watched it.
My favorite part of Rogue One is when Forrest Whitaker shows up as Deathstroke and basically says, "We're some sort of Suicide Squad, aren't we?" And I was like, am I having a fucking stroke in the theater? Like, what? We're some sort of Rogue One. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, why is he wearing that?
He was there literally just as a reference for people that watch the cartoon. Like, he's a character that originated on Clone Wars before there. And he was actually a much better character on Clone Wars, to be honest with you.
I really wanted to like Rogue One, because I like the idea of a Star Wars movie that isn't just like a bunch of Jedi doing Jedi shit with laser swords. Like, people are like, oh, I like Rogue One because it's more kind of like down to earth and shows what the rebels are doing and all that. And I'm like, yeah, no, that part's fine. It's that the execution is terrible because the rebels they show are like the most unlikable, boring, flat pieces of paper to ever exist. They're they're paper targets for the stormtroopers.
It's funny.
It's the Metroid Prime Federation Force of Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like that it's one of those things. Remember, I said about doing your homework. It's going to be better retroactively because they're doing TV show on Disney Plus with what's his face is Han Solo, Andor, what's the dude's name? I don't remember.
God damn it, just bring back Kyle Katarn. Just bring back the dad of Star Wars.
KS2O. But they're doing a prequel TV show, and I feel like it'll probably be good.
Well, they have to flesh out the characters then, because it's a show and not a 2-hour-long movie. So yeah, like, I'm down for that.
and then watch all of their heroic sacrifice after, it'll be a lot more poignant. And Cassian Andor. And let me tell you, actually, Diego Luna's an awesome actor.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm excited about the show.
Show's gonna be great.
Alan Tudyk is
I'm sure.
Alan Tudyk is always delightful. Always.
K2SO, the blind guy, and Blaze are like the best parts of Rogue One. That's about it.
I was kind of upset they killed K2SO. There's no reason because he's a droid. They're like, he's the most likable one though, so he has to die.
Remember in Rogue One where they make a big deal about saving the pilot, and he says all of like 2 lines, and then like the minute he steps out of his ship, he gets like fucking shot.
I liked that though because the entire point is that it's war. People like you can't save people.
Yeah, but like that doesn't. It's not fucking. Oh my god! Watch any war movie and like. That's.
If I wanted to watch any war movie, I'd watch any war movie.
But then they could just do that with Star Wars. I don't know. They could have done so much more. Like Star Wars has always been about like fucking swashbuckling and like quips and shit. And like I get like war is supposed to be bleak, but you can still have both.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing I hated about.
You can still have Inglourious Bastards and Star Wars.
Modern and quippy in like a Marvel movie. Episode 8 was. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
With like the cell phone reception thing. Oh, that was awful. It's very eye rolling now that I'm thinking about episode 8.
He made a Yo Mama joke. I mean, it's like in character. I don't think it was like that.
It's not in universe. You never hear anybody talk like that in any like Star Wars media. It was very modern sounding.
Well, not everyone needs to be like a pompous like British aristocrat.
I don't know, but like cell phone reception, really?
There's no other Star Wars media. That's all non-canon. That's not in universe.
No, there were like 10 movies or something. More if you count the Ewoks. You know what? This is probably a good transition to. Do you want to actually talk about Disney Plus?
Let's talk about Disney Plus, and then we can wrap this up.
Yeah, because it's been nearly 2 hours.
Yeah,
and we can talk about Smash Brothers because we have to. Here's the what. First thing I'm going to say real quick. We have to say one thing about Smash Brothers, guys. If you haven't tried this, I think this is super fun. Set your rules on Smash Brothers Ultimate to stamina mode, and play with no hazards on Shadow Moses Island, and it's like fighting game mode because from the sides, and so you just actually have to kill each other via stamina, and it's super fun. Okay, that's all.
I mean, that's basically what the classic mode for like Ryu was. It was just Street Fighter.
But you can still get a lot of ring outs that way.
Yeah,
if you use Shadow Moses, it doesn't break.
Stage Builder just create box rooms now.
Oh, that'll be fun. Man, I'm so
Stamina
excited for
exclusive box rooms.
Make cage matches.
Oh man. Okay, so Disney Plus. Go ahead, Colin. Lead us into this.
I can't believe it's going to be $7 and have all of Simpsons except the Michael Jackson episode. That's wild.
It is. That's like a headshot for Netflix. They are.
That actually is though. Like on my I mean, I was already sold on the stupid fucking having another streaming service, except it's Disney, because it's like, you know what, Disney's always weird and terrible about their back catalog. Like, sure, make a streaming service, put all of the movies on there, put the old black and white Mickey Mouse shorts, put Gargoyles on there or whatever, just like put everything on there. But like I forgot that they bought Fox. And then they were just like, yeah, all of the Simpsons, never done before. Even when, like, Hulu had the exclusive Simpsons license, it was only, like, the latest couple of seasons. Now it's the entirety, all of it. And I was like, oh, God, that's actually worth it. That's worth subscribing to that service for, just the Simpsons, considering how much Simpsons there are.
And, yeah, all of the Disney movies,
yeah, plus Star Wars, plus all of the Disney animated movies, plus
the Marvel,
the original shows. Yeah, exactly.
Like it's probably going to be where I can go watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer now. All of Buffy's probably going to be on there because they own it. Because they own everything.
They own everything. Put all of Family Guy on there.
Yeah.
Like they killed They killed the Netflix Marvel stuff, but they're literally having a Hawkeye series with Jeremy Renner passing the torch to Kate Bishop. They're having a Loki series. They're having a Wanda and Vision. I imagine it's going to be a romantic
They're having
comedy.
a Monsters
idea
Inc.
what.
series.
I'm just talking about the Marvel stuff. Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Apparently, they could. Yeah, I mean, they can apparently after about 2 years from now, they can actually put the Netflix Marvel TV shows on their streaming service. Apparently, like
apparently,
a 2-year period where they can't.
I had a moment where I brought up a Disney Plus thing, and I read something for a second that got me really excited, and then I was immediately let down. Apparently, they're doing an adaptation of Marvel's What If series, where every episode is like a different scenario, and like a different like alternate universe scenario. And apparently, the first episode is going to be a world where Peggy Carter became Captain America and not Steve Rogers.
Okay.
And it only reminds me of how terrible that Agent Carter show was and how good I wanted it to be.
a lot of people loved that show. I never saw it, but I guess I'll take your word
It was
for it.
very okay, and then season 2 was really bad.
Yeah, so that one's going to be animated, but it's going to use the actual voices of the actors, the What If.
That's nice. 18 Pixar films will be available at launch, with Coco, Incredibles 2, and Toy Story 4 arriving later.
How long
Okay.
till they start doing day and date with certain movies?
Apparently it's right after their Netflix contract ends is when there won't be like a delay. According to the Hollywood Reporter, the Disney service will start with around 500 films from the Disney library.
Wow.
And around 7,000 episodes of Disney TV fare.
Nice. I want to see. I hope they put some of the Disney Channel TV shows on there, like Gravity Rush, Star, DuckTales.
Interestingly enough, this is actually kind of interesting. So Disney is also like a major platform holder of Hulu, and they said all R-rated stuff will be on Hulu. It won't be on the Disney service. So Alien will be on Hulu. Yeah.
I guarantee you that within a year, they're gonna have a bundle where you get Hulu and Disney Plus for, I don't know, $10 or $12 or something, and I will 100% subscribe to that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of sucks because I think they're gonna make Disney Plus like an extra like app that you have to download. But I would much rather if they included Disney Plus as like a bonus channel that you could subscribe to within Hulu, like you can do with Showtime and HBO and a bunch of other services.
I think they want something where you can just put that app on your kid's tablet or something and not really have to worry so much.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Put it on the Switch. Apparently, that's what they.
Yeah. So, by the way, here's some other stuff that they said that they're going to work on. The Monsters Inc. show, like we said, a new Muppet series, which I'm always excited about. I love the Muppets. This is my favorite. I'm looking at this side. Here's some things that are rumored to be in development. 3 Men and a Baby TV show.
Hell yeah.
A Father of the Bride TV series. A live-action Lady and the Tramp. Another Parent Trap. Based off of The Sandlot. A live-action Sword in the Stone. I Shrunk the Kid. I don't know if it's going to be a series or not. Just with Star Wars, they're doing, like I said, the Cassian Andor series, The Mandalorian, which has a crazy amount of talent. Have you seen the director's list for The Mandalorian?
Yep.
I'll look it up.
Somebody
now,
pull that up. Yeah. And there's heavy rumors that they're going to do that they were going to do an Obi-Wan movie with Ewan McGregor, that they're just going to turn it into a miniseries on Disney Plus.
That's fine.
Because,
yeah.
Also, another season of Clone Wars, because why not?
Yeah.
So much stuff. They have so many IPs.
They're doing a live action Lady and the Tramp that's going to be on the service.
It's going to be everything. that series is everything. Yeah, like, dude, just the cast and the directors for The Mandalorian are super impressive.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it, honestly.
Finally, we get Werner Herzog in a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
He's in a Star Wars now. he is a random droid, which I assume is just going to be exactly Korg, but a droid.
I hope. God, I hope that Muppet show is good.
I hope so too.
And the reason why I say that is because they had that one on ABC that only ran
like
for
The
a
Office.
season, but I loved it. It was
I thought
fantastic.
it was good. Yeah, I don't understand people.
But
were like,
people really hated it because it doesn't. It was more kind of like mature, which is what the Muppets are supposed to be. They're not supposed to be like super kid friendly, but I guess it just doesn't gel with how. Like those new
for kids.
Yeah. Well, it's also that those two new movies they made are like really like sanitized and like made like super duper kid friendly. So like it felt so off base from those two movies. Like if you liked the Muppets and that second one that was really awful, you probably
I like the
wouldn't.
Muppets. I did not like the second one.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't see either of them. I just noticed they're putting
First one
Malcolm
was
in the
good.
Middle
First
on. All of Malcolm in the Middle is going to be on Disney Plus.
Really? Time to watch. Oh yeah, because it's a Fox show. Time to watch that again, I guess.
Because I've got the complete list of everything they've announced on it up there.
Fun
Both
fact,
series,
after
both
I finished-
series of DuckTales, the original and new one are going to be on there.
Ooh. Fun fact,
It's really
after I finished
funny.
after I finished Breaking Bad, I didn't know what to watch next, so I just watched all of Malcolm in the Middle. Because I was like, Bryan Cranston's on it. It's a prequel. It's the same thing. You know, it's-
But
Yeah, I don't know. It's like
Be.
compared to Apple's announcement of their streaming services. What do you think?
I mean, this
I
is
think
obviously
both are-
better.
I think both are.
I mean,
Disney
fine.
has the IP, man.
It's the IP. Like the reason it's such a big deal is because Disney owns so much stuff. That they
I
can
think-
legit just run a unique streaming service just exclusively with their stuff.
I think the comparisons are a bit unfair because that's like the focus of the Apple series. Like the Apple service is to make new stuff.
It's making new stuff too. Have you seen how much money they're forcing into? Like, I know that's using existing IP, but we've got like 6 Marvel series coming, 3 Star Wars series, a bunch of live action remakes. Once again, it's with IP, but it's like a weird.
What I'm saying is, like-
All it means is it's naturally more exciting for the Disney one because it's all stuff, existing series and existing films and existing TV shows, whereas Apple's trying to do like completely new stuff.
Yeah, they're trying to basically make the first like whereas other services have to live off of their pre-existing franchises, or you have a Netflix or a Hulu where they were like, oh, you were already subscribed, here's some original series. I'm actually really curious to see, because Amazon did the same thing, where Amazon was just kind of like, Prime, here's a bunch of shows, we're just greenlighting, and they ended up being really good.
Right, but you know
I don't
what?
know if I can dog new content. That's just my my
Content,
dealio.
I'm dogging what they showed. Nothing excited me. All of those Amazon Prime shows, when they're like, self-referential Jean-Claude Van Damme as a secret agent show. Yeah, of course I want that. Like everything that like Amazon, for instance, or Hulu or Netflix showed, there's always been things that have hooked me. Apple showed nothing. Nothing that even I'm like, yeah, okay.
Well, the thing is that they haven't really like formally announced they formally announced, but they haven't like formally showed them off yet. Which
why have a presentation where you show off your new service when you don't give any price points and you don't give any content?
They did give a price point. They did. It's $9.99, and they said it's coming later in the year.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm looking this up.
Oh, anyway, streaming services, huh? What are you gonna do?
That's funny. I feel at the end of the day, Netflix might be the odd man out after everything's said and done, because they don't have anything else to fall back on.
At least they have Castlevania.
Like,
Also, you got to remember that like Apple is
literally
a
audience.
tech company, and only video games have like the stupid, flashy, like gotta cram as much like hot trailers and stuff in as possible. They were just formally announcing like who's on board and what they're thinking about doing. But like,
Yeah.
I'm curious. Like, I want to see what they have. They got Spielberg and Abrams on board. They got Oprah.
Wait, they got Spielberg on board?
Yeah, that was the first one they brought out was Spielberg, and he's like, yeah, I'm working on something, and I'm like, oh shit.
Well, man, something. He's had a really good track record recently.
Wow. I'm glad they paid him a lot of money for that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, right.
Netflix is just going to become the place for adaptations of fucking video games and anime at this point.
Netflix has done and independent comics, man. All the Millarverse stuff, like Umbrella Academy.
I'm quite looking forward to what they do with Cowboy Bebop, because hopefully it will give an indication of the quality of what they're going to try and do when they get to One Piece.
They actually do have a list of like Apple TV Plus series that are coming up. They actually have like the list of all the names and their genre.
Okay.
I think Cowboy Bebop is a much more adaptable and I'll say actually better series than One Piece. I'm not sold on John Cho. Like, he's so old. He's like, I like him a lot as an actor, but I feel like Spike's supposed to be somebody like in his mid to late 20s. And I feel like John Cho is, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter.
Why didn't they do the meme and just cast Benedict Cumberbatch?
I think apparently what J.J. Abrams is doing, he's adapting a Stephen King story into a show. That's neat.
Right.
I'll just say this much. I think people are dogging on the Apple TV series, like the Apple TV Plus thing a little too hard, because I think what's going to end up happening is they're just going to have to prove their worth anyway, just like how Hulu Originals and Amazon Prime Originals had to. Like, that's just the dealio. Like, of course, if, like, because the same thing happened back in the day when Hulu and Amazon were like, we're making shows. And it's like, okay, great. Bet they're not that good. But then, like, the more it came out, you're like, okay, time to actually watch these things. And that's just how it goes.
Must be a really weird time to be somebody that's pitching TV shows, because there's so many outlets and so much money that there's a decent shot somebody, if you have a good pitch, that somebody will greenlight the show. However, there's so much out there that your show is probably going to last a season or two.
That's that's ultimately, that's why I can't hate new stuff. Like, I don't know, I can't sit down and physically go like, oh man, they want to try doing their own streaming service with all new original content, like, made by, like, real actual professionals in the industry. Like, I can't hate that, but of course it all comes down to whether or not it's good or not yet. But I don't know if I can really, like, I don't know. I don't think it's something that there should or should not be a hype cycle behind. It's just we just don't know until it comes out.
I mean, if you want me to subscribe to this, there needs to be a hype cycle. You need to show me something. I couldn't care less about Apple streaming service now. I'll look at it. Maybe it'll end up being super cool, but
we'll probably see everything right before it comes out, and then we'll know.
Yeah.
That's how this usually goes.
Be interesting. You know what show I love, and I feel like not enough people watch, especially because it gets a word buzz too, is Glow on Netflix. It's so good, guys. Watch Glow.
Yeah, it is. Glow is a good show.
How I judge if a stream...
Because it's been like 2+ hours. I was
gonna say, you know how I judge... Yeah, we'll stop it. But you know how I judge if a streaming show's doing well? If I go on YouTube and I can find episode recaps and reactions for it, then I know it's it's in the zeitgeist. That's how you can tell if it's doing well, because they don't release any official numbers, so that's the only way you know.
Yeah.
I only watch animated series because I am a child.
Oh my god. Anyway, I think that's about all we can say. I think we should wrap this up.
Oh man, we didn't even talk about stepping on Toad's nuts.
God. All right. It's been real. Thanks for watching. I'd like to thank everyone who joined us, including you, the viewer. I'd also like to thank the Duke of Dorks for always being our super patron. Links down below to our Twitters, and subscribe and like and Uh,